Good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world. This morning here in Iceland. My name is Matthias Matthiasson. I'm the product director for LS Nav here at LS Retail. I would like to introduce to you our newest release of LS Nav, which is built on Microsoft Dynamics 2017. And let's start. Not just update of the platform for Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2017, but we also have three big pillars coming in out of this version. We have LS BI. We have BI solution, LS Insight. We have a solution called LS Recommend, which is a sales assistant. And then we're providing to you a preview of our new generation POS or web POS. This version is kind of like, for the last 2 years we have been releasing cumulative updates, regular cumulative updates, and you could say this is just one of them. However, of course, we're changing platforms and for Microsoft, and we have this at least two available services coming out with this version, then a preview, which makes this quite a big version. And we'll continue to add and utilize more functionality that comes out with Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2017 in our future cumulative updates. We have the 2017 from NAV. Let's do a little bit look at that. Let's go into the system and see what they are offering. I have here the web client, and as you know, Microsoft has done a lot of improvements in the web client, and it's getting better and better. You almost could say that it has superseded the Windows client. So what I'm trying to do now is to use more of the web client for demonstrations, and I assume that you, the partners, are trying to do that also. Because my belief is that this is going to be the future client for our solution, because of everything with the cloud and remote and all of that. So let's try this. I'm just going to show you a small preview of some of the ones I think are interesting. You have the good old boring item list. What they offered now in this version, which is quite interesting, is that have this picture view of the items. We call this brick view. This is a new version, new method of showing lists, and fits very well with the item master. And also supported for the customers, so you can see a picture of the customers. But let's look at what we have here. For example, image. We can click here the three buttons of dots, and you have three functions here: view, edit, and delete, which makes this quite practical. We also have the small view of the pictures, and let's look at what they also added: filter by attributes up here on the left. In this version, Microsoft introduced attributes to items, similar to what we had, but not going as far as we do. So we had a decision. Are we going to go and start using the NAV attributes, or are we going to continue with ours? And that the conclusion was that they are not offering all the possible data types we are. So we decided to keep ours, at least for the time being. So this one here is running on top of the retail attributes. So to show you what we can do is that I'm going to go up here and select something called the lifestyle. And our session yesterday, I was asked, is this just the hard attributes on items? No, these are all the attributes that are on an item. So you have availability to filter onto all the information, all the attributes you put onto an item, which makes this quite attractive. So like you see here, I filtered to professional lifestyle, and you can see it filters down to those items. This is a very easy way of filtering and finding items. Not just that, you can have multiple attributes. For example, if I put in here manual, which is of the type text, so if I try to filter it, I get the possibility to filter it to contain, start with, end with, and exact match. I'm not going to put any value in there. And let's look at the last one. Calories. Maybe not relevant for this demo, but what I'm trying to show you is that in this case, this attribute is a number, and you can also use this kind of filtering, which is brilliant. So I think there's a lot of usability for this. And of course, I didn't put in value, so I didn't tighten the filtering. But what you can do now, if you want to take it out, you just clear the attribute. Let's create a new item. And what they have done in this version of NAV, which was the reason why we took a little bit of time of getting this version out, it's more than a month, is that they took out the hierarchy, the product group category hierarchy, and left in only the category. What we decided is that we were not willing to go into that new hierarchy at the moment. So we sat down and thought about this. What we would like to do, and I know you also, is to have multiple hierarchies that have a dynamic in length or levels, and not all the branches are as deep. So that's our design goal, and that's what we are doing now, is that we're working on a multiple hierarchy with which is dynamic, very similar to Microsoft does, and very similar to what we have in AX. So in future CUs, community updates will release those functionality. But in the meanwhile, we kept the product group, item category, and division in our system. So that's how it is now. So it didn't change anything. You know, all the reports, all the setup in wherever in the system. We use a lot of the hierarchy to control our settings. So and another thing they changed is, since they took out the product group category, they took all the default values out of those tables. So what they introduced instead is something called item template. And let's look here at, for example, one second. Look at clothing. You see here that what we did is that we are using this attribute, an item template. You fill out the default value in the item template, then you connect the templates to the hierarchy. So we're still using new technology, but not in the way it was intended. So let's select that, and then we select the product group. We're going to select men here. So when you see that I filled in the product group, it will fill up in the default data down here on the right. So what the system does, once you select the product group, it goes into and see, is the item template connected to the product group, yes or no? If so, it uses that. If it's not, it looks at the category and uses that default data. The usage of new, or the process of new new items in the standard is that you press new, and they pop up a list of all the available item templates, and you select one of those templates to create the item. So the system will fill out the item record before you even see it. So there's a difference here, how they do it, how we do it. We kept it like it was. So, and it does not say that it won't change it in the future, but that's how it is exactly now. And once we get into multi-hierarchy, we might take out the product group item category division, we might not. So if you have an opinion on that, all recommendations in that sense will be welcome. So let's delete this, go back. We're not going to create an item. Seeing items, I want to show you what we use the bricks or the images for. If we look at our image table, and we're using their tables. So we have this media table. This is a brilliant table to keep all kinds of media. And you can see here, there's a brilliant way of looking at the pictures, much native than we did before. Remember, we had a table, a list with pictures in it. It is not really smooth, but now it is. So we're using some of this technology ourselves. Enough about that. Let's go back to our stack. By the way, I forgot to talk about this, is that if you have any questions, please put it into the question tool, and we will address that at the end of the meeting. If you have any questions or concerns, or you have a problem, Hörður here. Hörður Big is assisting me here. He's marked also as organizer. Please chat with him if he can assist you. One of the big pillars here is LS Insight. And what this is a new BI offering we're offering. What you might ask me, is this coming instead of your solution LSBI? And the answer is no. LSBI is going strong and will be continued to be offered by us with their cubes, with their analytics reports. And what we see, these are two different needs from the customer. If you're a customer that needs on-premise, you would like to host it yourself, you want to control all of the access, all what's done, and all of that, this is the solution for you. You buy a solution from us. It's run on target, an excellent BI solution, which is improving and getting more and more popular day by day. What you do is you purchase the license up front, and you have that full control of that system. So what our new offering is LS Insight. And this solution is in the cloud. It's powered by Power BI, or not really powered in that sense. Its visualization is all powered by Power BI, and you can access through Excel also. It's a subscription. What does that mean? That means that you don't pay up front, you pay when you use it. So it's kind of like subscribing to your telephone. So you buy a plan, pay monthly, and use it. And what we're offering there is a continuous delivery. So we'll add stuff into it gradually through the life cycle of the item. And you know, all of us have heard software as a service, or SaaS. That's it. This is software as a service for BI. So you look at it, you have your on-premise database in your location. What we do, we take your data bring it to the cloud, into our machinery, running on Azure. So we can easily increase the power we need, decrease the power we need, a lot of space or not. That's the beauty of it for us, is that we are running this in Azure and we have ready availability, the power we need. We take your data, build a data warehouse with all the relations we have put together for LS Nav, and we store it. We back it up and store it. Then we can see here in the middle, data models for ERP business domain. We have the first release of the content pack sales. That's what we're offering right now. We're planning to come out with supply chain and finance, the future releases. And what you have now is that we have then a data warehouse with the data models and content packs with the analytics, dashboards, and all of that. So we get right out of the box. You access this through your Power BI subscription and have one of the leading visualization reporting tool on the market. And the beauty of this is this fits very well into the whole Microsoft Office 365 suite and also into the Microsoft Dynamics NAV client. As you know, you can show like dashboard and stuff inside of NAV. We have not tested it yet, but we will. And we don't see any reason why that should not work perfectly from day one. But let's go forward on this. So if we look at this, we set it up, we maintain the software service, we support it. We have the ERP data storage, we take care of everything for you. And the first pack, sales analysis. Future, finance, supply chain. We updated customer partner could assist you in getting things going and all that, but this is something you should be able to run from yourself, by yourself, as you want. Advanced Analytics 1 and 2 and 3, we're adding more and more stuff in there. We are also going to be in the future using machine learning and data lake analytics and all kinds of big data storage and all kind of trendy words. So you see, this is not something we're stopping. We're going forward with this continuously, continuous delivery. And the beauty of it is that it's hosted by us. We take care of the upgrade. We take care of the backup and all that. So it's just for you to consume your information through our tools. So how do you order this? You order this from your partner. The partner installs what we call a Microsoft Data Management Gateway. And this would go, he will come visit you or access your system and install this on your premise where your database is. And we're talking about on-premise, not in the cloud. Of course, we will offer also in the cloud, but that's not the trend today. So we'll do that once that's a valid option. So it comes to you and installs this Microsoft Data Management Gateway with a secure key from us, Azure secure data key. What that means is that everything that goes from this implementation on your premise to our cloud is completely secure. It's encrypted and all that. It's all in there into the cloud. Once we have that, we, LS Retail, create data warehouse in the cloud and data models. And you might ask, what's the difference here between the Power BI that comes into standard NAV? The standard NAV Power BI just goes into flat tables and create visualizations. Here we have the ability, or what we do for you is take that data, put it into a data warehouse with data models, with relations, filters, and all that, So we have put our thought, all our knowledge into this to create the best tool for you to get the most out of your data. We do this, set it all up. LS Insight Content Pack, which a content pack is really a collection of reports and dashboards that is then going to be available in your Power BI. You access your Power BI subscription, and you have full access to LS Insight, meaning that you have full access to your data that we are storing and maintaining for you. What are the prerequisites to do this? They are that you have LS Nav license, of course, and it's hosted at LS Retail. You need to be on active maintenance during the subscription period. And the reason for this is that this is a subscription. It's a continuous relationship. It's not you buy the license and then you buy updated maybe 3 years later, 5 years later. No, we are continuous in a relationship where we are providing the service to you continuously. Therefore, we need to be on the maintenance as this is a continuous delivery. We offer this on 2015, 16, and 17, so you have to be on 2015 or later. This should plug in as it is to that. And then on the opposite side, if you look at it, you need to have a Power BI Pro subscription. And this, to my understanding, is part of the Office 365 suite, so it fits very well into that. You can buy it as part of that, or you can buy it separately. And this is not going to be bought from us. So you would need to talk to your partner or where you buy, for example, your Office licenses. Pricing, this is a monthly subscription. Like we said, you pay for each month, like for your mobile phone. We're going to charge 4,900 euros for a starter fee, the setup fee, and get everything going. However, we have a promotion going until July 2017, where we give you 100% discount. So we're waiving the implementation or startup fee for the first 6 months. And then it's kind of how do we calculate the monthly fee? And the monthly fee is calculated is that upfront it's 100 euros per content pack per billing period, and then 7 euros per pass. And you might ask me, why do we have to pay per pass? And the reason is that what we are doing, we are taking space in Azure, both for the data and the machines or resources that need to be running your system, giving you performance you expect. So this is our method of calculating the size of the resources we need in the cloud to do the job for you. So this is just a mathematical calculation, and once you have put that in, you know what the monthly fee for LS Insight is. This is going to be billable at the starting of the period. So once you start, you get we bill you for the coming month and so and so. And there's no commitment in how long you have to be in this. It's up to you. So it's not a huge commitment. Of course, once we have the starter fee, it is some commitment, but it's not the same commitment as you purchase a license that you have to use them. Let's look at the demo. Let's look what it's all about. We're just going to open up here my client, my browser, and I go to the Power BI side. So I sign in as myself. And I press here on the left to get into my workspace. And what you can see here, we have LS Inside. It's one of our groups. So what I get here is the solution we're talking about, is LS Inside and what it contains. It contains a data set, reports, and dashboards. Let's start looking at the data sets. Here we have the ability for you to maintain or modify, maintain, copy, and do whatever you want in regarding visualization. You can create your own reports, change visualization, copy the reports that we already have and change them and all that. This is your sandbox or your place to play with. Then you have the data, you have the reports. And what you see here, let's start at the first one. Is that here you can see one of the reports. It's like you see on the bottom, you can see there's numerous reports here. And this is one of our reports. You can see the data in the middle. You can see then on the left, you see filters. And these are filters, what we call a slice and dice the data. So what you put in here for select a store, it will affect the data in the screen. On the right, you have additional filters where you can, which are filters for the whole table. So is year to date or not year to date, is this or that, the budget name and all that. So you have the ability to filter there. And here, if you're a heavy Excel user, you can take this to Excel. So all the data on the screen or the report can be imported or exported to Excel, and you can do your magic there if that's your game. So let's say this here box here is what I like. What I can do here is I can pin this. I can pin it to existing, but what I'm going to do for demo now, I'm going to pin it to a new dashboard, which I'm going to call demo. And you can see here on the left, there's a dashboard now called demo. And if I click here on the bottom to move the reports, I get here a category analysis, for example. You can see a different type of reports. And I like this one, so I'm going to pin that also. And I'm going to pin that to my demo. And let's take one more. Month analysis, analysis matrix. No, that's not the one I was going to say. Store KPIs by hours. I like that one better. So I can see the hours and how that the sales goes by hours. So I'm going to pin that. So you can see there's a whole bunch of reports. You can filter here. For example, on the left, there's more filtering. This is just Thursdays. You can have multiple days, whatever you want, the stores. But let's look at the demo. So now you can see what I put together. This is what means something to me. Even though I have put it in a dashboard, I still can click on it, and it goes back into the report and can do the more detailed stuff there. Let's go back. And you know, all of you know how it's important that you need now to do the business anytime, anywhere, or any place. So just in this tool, we can see a sample of how this report would look on your mobile phone. So you can create your own report, take from all the reports there into a dashboard, which are the numbers and information you like to see. And you can have multiple of this. But so this gives you quite the possibilities. Not just that, but I would like to share this dashboard, of course, with myself, because this is a demo. I want to see it come in my email. So here it comes. I'm thinking my mouse is failing me now. Okay, I get up the email. I just click on it. Now we're in Power BI. Of course, the user that is using this needs to have a license in Power BI, but that's how that is. But so you can see the information, or you could have, for example, this picture here, or this one here, sales per hour. This would be an interesting picture, for example, in the dashboard or in the homepage for the store manager. Enough about that. So let's I had a problem here with my computer, but of course, everything like that happens exactly when you're demoing, so you just have to accept that. LS Recommend is another one of our services, and what this is the ability for us to take your data, your items, and your sales history, move it to the cloud, and use technology to take that data, create relationship, find out all kinds of things that you haven't even thought about, to give you a meaningful recommendation for your customer. Giving the salespeople on the floor an expert in their hands. So if you have a mobile POS, which is in my mind most native in the store, is that you're on the floor, staff, you scan an item or recognize the customer, scan an item, and then he has meaningful recommendation of items you should show him. You might take him over to the item and show him and have him touch it, look at it and all that, and sell it on the spot. So this is a machine learning, Cortana analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, whatever magic word you want to use. But it's up there in the cloud, pay as you go, and it's again continuous delivery. You can start using this right away. No upfront investment. This is what we call LS Recommend, and this again is a software as a service or SaaS. So like I said, you go in here, you into the back office, you configure it. The system will, for example, take all the items that have been sold in your fashion stores, move it to the cloud, that's been sold for the last 6 months, move it to the cloud, take all the sales system for those items and crunch on it. Learn. Then on the POS, stationary POS, mobile loyalty, I come into my app and I get something that the system thinks I like according to my purchasing history and what other people like me do. Then the e-commerce, the e-commerce, this is almost standard functionality. Who hasn't gone to Amazon and in a basket and got a recommendation, other people like this recommendation for you. So it's kind of like a standard functionality in e-commerce, but it is not for the loyalty and it's not for the stationary POS or mobile POS. So we're offering this. So we're putting this and make it available to the whole Omni touch points, the whole Omni experience of the customers and what you're providing to them. And then you can see we are then planning to do more of this than into the BI. And the BI would then experience from this, all the machine learning, all that. So you can see we're going strong forward with this. How do you order it? Order from the partner, again. The partner provides you with the LS recommendation subscription key. You take the subscription key, go into your back office, into LS Recommend setup, put the subscription key in there, decide which group of items, let's say fashion items, and it's going to be 6 months. Build the model, it sends it up to the cloud and starts learning. Once it's done that and it's marked as ready, which is not going to be a long time, you can start selling at the POS. You configure, yeah, sorry, forgot here. You configure it and it's ready for use at the POS. That's how simple it is. No consultants. Of course, there's a more complicated tuning that you could do, but just to start using it, it's very simple. For example, you can have block some items, whitelist an item. You can have a promotion, so you push that rather. Are you going to get 4 recommendations back? You're going to get 10 recommendations back. What the system does, let's say you get 10 recommendations back. What the system will do, it will check if that items are on stock in that store. So if it's not on stock in the store, it will take it automatically out of the list, so your staff will not recommend an item they can't get. Prerequisite, similar to LS Insight, you need to have the license with us, you need to be on maintenance. And for the first release now, it's only going to be offered on LS Nav 2017. However, in the cumulative updates coming early next year, we're going to be offering for 2015 and 2016. And for your partners out there, if you do the work of moving it down, you can, I don't think there's very much limit where you could go with this. The pricing, how much does it cost? It's a monthly subscription like we talked about with SaaS. We have our LS Recommend subscription pack, which is the standard pack you would buy. You pay it upfront at the beginning of the period. And it's quite a bit different for LS Insight. Here you buy a pack for 295 euros for the billing period, and you get 100,000 service requests. What's a service request? Any interaction with the cloud is a service request. So you use one service request to put all your data up there. If you have something in a basket, you ask the cloud, what should I recommend for this basket? That's one service request. So you get there a whole bunch of quite a few service requests with the starter pack. But if you use more than 100 in a month, we look at you use it at the end of the month. So if you use, for example, 180,000 service requests, we will charge you additional packs. And the additional pack includes 100,000 service requests additional. So if you have 190,000, you pay twice 295 euros. So this is not an upfront investment. It is a little bit of setup. And you can just evaluate if this is something that is working for you. And we will mark, for example, you have a transaction and it comes in a recommendation. If that item is bought in the transaction, we'll mark it. So you should be able to monitor what this additional service is giving you. Does it give you 10% hit rate with the items that it recommends? Is it 20%, 30%, 40, 50, or is it just 5%? And then it's up to you to then evaluate, is it worth the investment? But it's not upfront investment, it's continuous cost. Let's look at this. Let's go into the system. Get the virtual machine up and running here. Go into the pause. And I'm showing you the Windows pause now. Here's it coming up. Just a comment. Just to see, remember how this pause looks compared to the web pause, which I'm going to show you a little bit later. So I log in. 301, sorry. So here I have the pause. I have a button here. So you can trigger this by a button. The staff can request it whenever they want. Or you can have it, or both, you can have it at total. So we'll recommend when you do total. And then I'll show you how it recommends even on the slip. And this is all up to you, how you configure this. So let's do a recommend. It will come back, and now it's talking to the cloud in a setup I have. Now, no item can be recommended, and that's because you need an item, either an item or a customer or a member management contact. So I'm going to put Brit in here. Now I'm going to do it again. So now it looks at Brit, and the other customer or contacts are similar, and it says, you know, I would recommend back to Brit. Gloves or skirt or a sweater. And you might ask, can I just press the picture and then it's selected? No, we have not done it that way. And the reason is that you, of course, need to go into the store and get it. So most likely when you get it in the store, you bring it back and scan it at that time. As you can see, this is much more native to a mobile POS in the store with the customer at location where the customer can touch and feel the item and buy it right away when they really like it and where they're most vulnerable to finish the sale. So let's look at this, the bag. Let's then seller the bag. Print the bag. And there's a point offer. Of course, we're going to take the point offer. It's only 25 points for this huge price, 40% discount. What a deal. So now we have Brit and the bag, and let's see what the recommendation says then. According to the system, seems that if you have a bag and you're Brit or a person like Brit, you're more likely that you would like a t-shirt. So, you know, so you can see it's not just a sequence, it really thinks about what it is and does a lot of different things to find out. So let's close this, let's total it up, quick cash. And what we have here is that I'm going to show you here. We have now a slip that the customer takes home, and you can see you might also like t-shirt, leather gloves, shirt. So you can then take that with the customer. So it's a recommendation or sales possibilities, not just in front of the POS, but also take it with it. And you can imagine this, you know, if great goes into loyalty, and you show this there, even with pictures and nice pictures. You can imagine this is going to be a customization. This is kind of a personalized marketing to her according to what she likes, what she has bought, or people like her have bought. You might ask me, I have had questions regarding what about items that don't have sales history? What we do is that we have attributes or features on the items, and you can choose which features are relevant. But what it is that a product with a feature can borrow sales history and behavior from another one with similar features. So it can be recommended according to the features, not just the sales, because then it borrows from another. So that's our demonstration there. So let's continue. So in this release, we have the mobile pause on iOS already, which is going to be released now with this. We have the stationary pause. We have done the GUI for the newcomers, but not completed it. So if you need to set it up 1, 2, 3, it's going to be a project, meaning that we will have to participate, assist you in that. It's not out of the box ready, so you can't do that. And there's a plan also to put it on Magento. And then, of course, we have the mobile loyalty, which is going to be a brilliant touch point to the customer for personalized marketing. Then we have a new generation pause, LS Nav web pause. And again, this is a preview. It's not supposed to be installed at customers. The reason why we're releasing this is to give you, the partner, the ability to get to know it, feel it, recommend to us, and assist us going forward, and for you to show your customers and prospect where we're going, which is very important that they see what we're doing, how we're going, and for you customers listening, you should be able to get a demo of this from your customers, or from your partners, sorry, or you could contact me and we could maybe arrange something for you. So let's look at the history a little bit. I'm not sure how far back you know or remember about our history. Landstena Retail and Info Store used to be 2 products in the same space, and here are beautiful pictures, retro pictures from there. It was working on the forums. Then we took the 2 products, put it into a hybrid, got an excellent pause, put a face on top of it, .NET shell on top of it, and went on to Pages. My team did a brilliant job here, and the same team now is doing a brilliant job with the web pause. So this is just a new face we put on .NET, and you can see we could do much more. We were limited very much before. Then we took another step. We took an app. We created a mobile pause app where you have an app that is communicating to back office NAV, giving you all the same data back and same traceability. So it's a very, very limber and mobile option for the store. And if you need more resources in the store, this is a very good way of going with it, because it doesn't take up space where a station pause does. And then we have a new generation pause, which is just really a new phase on top of the existing business logic. So let's talk a little bit technology. We have the SQL, which is data. It holds your data and all your controls and all that. Then we have the service tier, the Microsoft Dynamics service tier, which all the business logic holds and all the development is done regarding the business logic. And then on that we have, like today, we have then the front, what I call a face, the Windows client running a .NET face, talking to the service tier, showing you what you know. You press a button, the system will say, go back to the service tier, say, someone press button number 15 in menu 3, what should I do? And the business logic tells them. So all the controls of this are done within NAV, done by NAV programmers. So it's very simple. The difference with the web POS is that we have our IIS, Internet Information Server, a layer in front. And that is the interface, and then that talks to the web client, which has the HTML5 JavaScript code, and that's what my brilliant team, the .NET team, or .NET, I can't call them the .NET team anymore, it's the HTML JavaScript team, or the POS interface team, is using a different interface. So everything behind it is still a business logic. So you press a button here, press a button number 15 on menu 3, ask the service tier, what should I do? And the command here is to put up a number pad, for example. It'll put up a number pad on both of them. It's just different technology for interfacing. And the new technology gives us a lot of new possibilities. For example, the bricks I showed you, we're going to use the component in the NAV, most likely out of the box, to show the bricks on the POS. You look at this and you might say, Matthias, you just took the same picture and put it on twice. That's not the truth. These are actual screenshots from the Windows POS and the web POS. And that's what we're trying to do in the first releases, is to offer you the same, and then we're going to take it even a step further. We're going to go and do some other things, so you'll have what you have, then we'll dazzle you with some new stuff later next year. Technology more, architecture. You might think internet, web POS, it's all going to be connected to the cloud. Yes, it can, but we offer you the ability to run the standalone POS as you do today, which is the primary setup we have. POS that does everything, serves the customer, everything around it is burned down. You can still do transactions. So what you have here, you have the same setup as on the other one. You have the Windows operating system, you have the SQL, the service tier, but in addition to the service tier, you have the IIS, which is very light, and even the browser is by far lighter than the Windows client. So I would say it's even lower footprint on the web POS as a standalone than the Windows standalone POS. But if you go this route with a store server, and when I say server, I'm not really talking about a big server. I'm talking about a good PC, a good PC that can then run your POSes remotely. And we're talking about in the store. So you could have a machine here, for example, an old PC running a browser. Here you could have a Mac running a browser, a tablet running a browser, and it's all interfacing to the store server, which is holding the transaction. So it gives you much more possibilities. You could run the mobile POS also onto it. So the device needs to have a browser. It means it's OS, operating system independent. So you can run it on iOS, you can run it on Android, you can run it on Windows. If it runs a browser that runs against the Microsoft web client, we can run it. And you know about the apps that come from Microsoft. We're also going to support that in the future. Is that you just run the app from them, and inside the app is our POS. If OS independent, we are also hardware independent. We're also hardware independent, and then you have the store server that you can use. So this is quite attractive. Then the store server will replicate like a stationary POS, replicate everything after each transaction. Sorry about this. My phone is making unnecessary noise. Let's continue. So this is very attractive in that sense. It gives you a lot of possibilities. And then in the future, which is most dependent on the comms in your country, in the area, you could run the POS online to the cloud, to Azure, to software as a service, or just to your hosting place. So we should, in the future, be able to run this. And with the web POS, the communication is much smaller, thinner, and all that. Who hasn't browsed on a browser all the time? You know, it's just the same communication going back and forth. So this is the future. And then this question, when will it be a reality in your area? Let's demo this. Change on my screen. So I'm going to run here a browser. The mouse is kind of acting up. So I have to log in. And what you can see here, I'm just running a browser. This is the preview. It's even not the release version that is came out yesterday, or comes out today. You can see it's just onto a machine, and they have the URL and all that. But what you would see when you do this properly is that you have a full screen. You can't see anything, and you couldn't tell me. I'll put it through my expert. They would not be able to tell me if this is a Windows POS or a web POS. So I log in. I do 301. And you can see we have the POS. I select the squirt, orange, and I select that. Okay. Okay, I have a pop-up. So I select the boots, and I'm going to say it's red 36 white. I have that. You can see the discount comes in, so it's the same business logic. Only thing we're doing, we're working on the user interface, what you see, how you see it. Let's look at men's. You see all the pictures. Select the jean. I'll go to the cotton items on the bottom. This is a dynamic menu, so we see you support that. I'm selecting the shirt. I'm going to change the quantity on it. Pop up 5 use pieces. You can see that. Total. Quick cash. Exact amount. And that's it. That's it what I'm going to demo. But let's play a little bit since I have you here. I'm going to take down the full screen. Let's make it a smaller one. Let's see what we can do. Let's say that this is a 7-inch tablet. The letters are a little bit big. Of course, you can have full screen once you're on the device. Let's decrease the size a little bit. 67, I think is right. So what do you have here? You have pretty much out of the box the ability to run it on, for example, iPad mini, iPad, whatever kind of device. Of course, it depends on how big the buttons are going to be. You might have to adjust something, and we might have to do some stuff. But our goal today is to design it as a stationary POS and fulfill those needs. But trust me, we're going to go further. Is it going to go down to iPhone? I don't know. Is it going to compete against our iPhone mobile POS app? I don't think so. It's a different beast. It's giving you different capabilities. This one needs to be on 100% online, where the mobile POS does not. I think this is going to be a great offering together. For example, if you have a store only wants iOS devices in the store. Imagine a mobile POS running on iOS devices with the payment terminal, and then a tablet as the back of his stationary POS in a stand running the web POS. I could not have imagined that a couple of years ago, but that's reality today. So when I log off here, like a regular, I jump back into the client, and what, just for fun of it, I can now, like in the Windows client, I can run a command. You can see here we have the Windows POS and the web POS, so you can run it from there. So there's a lot of similarities here, and I feel a lot of excitement about this, what we're doing here, and we're very excited about it going forward. So that's the demo on that. What are we releasing? Release dates. We're making available a release pack, which is our standard regular release pack at noon today, or it's available today, right now, further.
Yes.
Yes, it's already available to download the release pack, and this is the release pack you can implement with customers. Tomorrow at noon, we'll make available the GP, and IS, Great Britain, and IS, Icelandic localization, downloadable. Is the preview available right now, or is that to noon today? Do you know? I personally, the post preview.
Today, at least it says there.
Let's just say it's available today at noon. Maybe it's already available, but at least at noon today, you can download the preview, and you can install that, and that has a new toolbox to be changed some POS functions inside. So there was enough change there that we did not want to put it into a regular pack, but release it as a separate install, just because we want the implementation to be successful. We need more time to fully test everything. So that was the decision. Then the North American NA release is going to be available early January. And let's look at the roadmap a little bit. As you can see, we have a ambitious roadmap. We're a solution investment. We're going to be on 365, both with Express and the full system. We're going to give you more information about that at Connection this year, next year. Continue to generate a new generation of POS. There came a question yesterday, hospitality on the new web POS. Like before, when we went to the .NET shell, we were doing the retail first, and the only reason is that like 60–70% of our business is retail. But hospitality is growing very, very fast. So once we have done the basics for the retail, and the retail is also taken first because it's simpler interfaces. But we're going to go into the hospitality right after that. So availability of the POS, the new generation POS, we are talking about, our commitment is to have it available by Connection to be implemented at customers with the hardware station, all the same hardware support you have today by April next year. We'll maybe release another download pack to you on the way. Is it going to be implementable or not? We have to wait and see. Upgradability, events, extensions, go current. We're going all the way into that. We're going to provide LS Pay solutions, meaning EFT, and we're looking there at same solution supports mobile POS, stationary POS, e-commerce, and mobile loyalty. Omni, regarding the whole e-commerce journey, vast improvements. extending to external e-commerce. We are doing customer orders. We're doing a lot there, very exciting stuff. I just recommend continuously improvement in fashion, improvement in replenishment, improvement in in-store processes. Going strong there. We are going to continue our commitment on the LS Insight, hospitality, table reservation, additional reports, and many other things there that I'm not going to mention here, but we're going strong there also. So you see, this is quite an ambitious task going forward. Please join us at the NRF in New York next month. We have a booth there, and be very happy to receive you. You can see our number of the booth there, and you can talk to our staff regarding anything regarding our solutions. You can even take a test drive on our youth release. Please join us if you are available for that. And then I believe the main event of 2017, the event not to be missed, is going to be held in Madrid in Spain in April. And remember, Connection Rome in 2016 was sold out, so make sure to secure your seat now. And because of our celebration of 2017 release, we're going to offer you until 31st of December 17% discount, 17. So if when you register, use the promotion code NAV17. You'll get this discount until end of the year. I will see you guys there, because then we can really go into and look at the web posts. We'll have, of course, our booths and all that, so we can even talk to this brilliant staff here that is creating these products. Please join us. I want to thank you for attending. Sorry about the problem yesterday morning. We tried all we could, but we had a problem admitting people into the session. We did not have a license more than 100, and there were 360 that were registered. So regrettably, that was not a success. If any comments, any questions you don't want to ask now, please send it to me. You see my email there. And now we're going to take some questions. Bear with me.
Unsure. Þú ert það næst.
Okay, here's some questions. Can you please show how we show the item variant work in item variant work in 2017? There's no specific new item variant work in this version specifically, but it has been done a lot of work on it during the community updates in 2016. Please send. I'm not going to do it now, so please send me an email if you want to go in more detail with me, or arrange a person to do this with you. How often do you update the data warehouse? Can we get at today's sales? To my belief, it's a scheduled update, and I've heard up to 4 times a day, and it really depends on I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't have a more specific answer for you. Can LS recommend new, not yet sold product based on attribute in common with product for which there is a sales browsing data? Yes, they can recommend items that have not been sold according to the feature. Currently, we are not collecting this browsing history, but it's on our roadmap. but it uses the sales history, what you have bought, to recommend it for you if you're a person. Is it possible to get customer field into LS Insight, for example, for the product and so on? A very good question. I believe that the data set that goes into LS Insight is set, so the partners cannot add to it at the moment. So if you want to have full control and do whatever you want with your data warehouse, LSBI is the way to go. And LS Insight is more of a out-of-the-box solution that we maintain, upgrade, and all that. So you can control the visualization as you want, but the data warehouse you cannot. Maybe this is going to be changed in the future, but as it is, to my belief, that's how it is today. How will the integration against OPOS devices work with WebPOS? Good question. What we're going to do is create something called a hardware station, and any device, POS or a server, will have a hardware station which manages the communications to the devices. And we're talking about EFT, we're talking about printers, drawers, and everything you do today. And when we release this in April, the hardware station is going to be ready. You can't release this unless that's ready. And if you think about it, if you have one POS that has devices connected to it, all the other POSes, like mobile POS or any other tablet that doesn't have any connections, that device can talk to that hardware station and print, or whatever they want, to open the drawer or EFT. So you can't do it that way. How does card integration as well as OPOS work using the POS, since they are linked to one PC? Do you need to have a single printer, set up an Ethernet printer instead? You can do the Ethernet printer, but like I explained, there's going to be hardware station at the devices that are connected to the external devices, which is going to manage that. You show us the attribute filter in the item list. Was this MS attributes or the LS attributes? Have you the two attributes tablets together to each other? This was what I call the retail attributes or the LS attributes, and it's not the same tables. We're just using the good old attributes that we have had now for 10 years, and the new Microsoft attributes are in their place. We don't know how these are going to interact in the future, but currently we did not do any migration or anything like that because of lack of time, and when we do it, we want to do it properly. Is the WebPOS compatible with to the dual display? That's a good question. I'll put it to you, Herder, to check that for us. But I believe it is until we find out that it isn't. Or at least put it this way, it should. I lost my place now. You put a new request and it moves. Okay. Will the existing version of LS Omni and LS Data Director work with 2017? Yes. Let's put it this way. It should, yes. If there's something needs to be fixing, we need to do that. Question: for which countries is LS? Are you planning LS Pay? LS Pay is not my responsibility, but my colleague Peter has that, and he has more of a schedule. It's not specifically for countries; it's more for carriers. For example, we have released Ingenico devices. We have released hygienical devices provided by PayX. With devices are the mobile POS cradle and the stationary POS device, and we're offering that now for all the Scandinavian countries. So in this case, we're providing it against the PayX, and then it's a question which countries they support. And then we have plans going forward also with Verifone and other, I've heard the name WorldPay and different. If you need more detail, please send me an email and I'll try to forward to the right person that can tell you exactly. Any plans for self-ordering POS kiosk mode? As you know, and if you ever used our virtual machine, there's one of the POS interface there is a self-service. It's not a good one and it's not something you should install, but we put it in there to be a challenge to you and to show you what you can really do with the configuration. And so in our demo data, there's a self-service, very crude self-service. And I know our partner, K3 in the Netherlands, have been doing this for IKEA, so this is possible within the system, but out of the box, we have not taken it all the way. And the reason why we have not done it is because we have not had a full time for that. Other things have had more priority. So to answer you straight, it's not on our roadmap, but it's something that I would have liked to do for a long, long time. And additional questions, I've answered all the questions that have been put forward here. So last chance. There's going to be a recording. You will get an email with the information regarding the session and where you could then get access to the recording, and most likely PowerPoint will be sent to you when it's ready. I just want to thank you for joining me, and you hope you have a nice evening or night and an enjoyable day, depending where you are in the world. I'm going to enjoy the snow that I had to shovel off my car this morning, later today. This is the first snow we have pretty much had this year in Iceland, just a couple of days before Christmas, which is very pleasant. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful celebration. Thanks for joining us.